I can't figure it out.
What they're going to do is they're going to eat themselves. Now, once they eat themselves, we focus on COBRA. We focus on NARC. We focus on HR 40. We focus on the things that have been happening. And we elevate those things. We elevate the Claude Andersons of the world.
This is a conversation that was going on this week. There was a big debate over a reparations movement with the hashtag ADOS, which stood for American Descendants of Slaves. And a lot of people were behind it because they felt that African Americans have a special experience, special rights, special privileges as a result of being descendants of slaves. But then there was this there was sort of this energy of there was almost anti-black immigrant, that if you are an immigrant from a black country, then you're not really one of us, right? And that, I think that confuses people sometimes too, because you've talked also about how immigration policy has been used to dilute the black vote, to marginalize black people, take jobs and resources. So how do you balance that between, the negative impact that immigration as a whole has had on black people versus what's really going on with black immigrants and our role in the participation of the free and of black people all around the world that have been affected by racism, slavery, and colonialism? How do you balance between those two, given that you're talking about immigrants of all backgrounds?
Well, it's very simple. All you have to do is you have to have a global view. You have to be not equally, but you have to be extremely sensitive to the blacks of African descent any place on the earth, coming to this country or from Africa, Latin America, Europe, wherever they are. You have to be sensitive to the fact that they are a mistreated, maltreated group of people. They have been abused, misused, subordinated, exploited by every religious group, every ethnic group, every gender group on earth, period. Now, what's the difference between that and blacks in America? Blacks in America are a little bit different from that, but they all in the same bag, but blacks in America are exceptional. Because, see, all those blacks coming from all those different countries were not treated the way blacks in America were. Blacks in America are native. You know why? Because when they were captured and put on those ships, they were stripped of everything. They were stripped of their language, their culture, their family, their history, their code of conduct, everything. They were totally neutralized and put on those ships. But that did not happen to the blacks that are coming in from Africa today or coming in from the Caribbean or coming in from Europe. They are being mistreated. They have been maltreated, not the same way that native blacks have. And the worst thing you can do is pretend that they're equal. The native blacks have been treated substantially different than any other human group beings on earth. And they've been mistreated and maltreated in this country for 460 years. But the blacks coming in from the Caribbean and Africa and Europe today, they have been mistreated in this country. They were mistreated outside the country. So the indebtedness outside this country the burden is on those people, and you have to go after them and get them and hold them accountable for what they've done to black folk outside the country. But if you try to combine the blacks that are migrating from Africa today or from the last 150 so years, if you amalgamate them together or conflate them together, you do a disservice to native black Americans, because you try to pretend then that all things are equal and they're not. Because those individuals coming in today from Africa, they have some advantages over blacks, just like all immigrants. The blacks coming in from the Caribbean, nobody made them come here. They had a right to leave anytime they wanted. They came here with a language. They came here with a culture. They came here with their families. They can go back anytime they want to. They can start businesses based on what they came in with. Native blacks in America, going all the way back, that were descendants of slaves, have never had anything. They were stripped. When they were set free, they were given no land, no food, no clothes, no medicine, no religion, no education, no money, no animals, no tools, no weapons, no nothing. And say now the root of Persia. And they struggled for 460 years trying to get one seed out of the ground. No land, nothing. They have been stripped and been violated, misused from the founding up to the present time. And the worst part about that is some of these African countries, sooner or later, we have to not only demand reparations from all these European societies and all these Latin American countries and all these Asian countries and all these Middle Eastern countries, but sooner or later you have to also demand some reparations from these African nations. And because slavery would not have lasted 2 or 3 weeks or a month if those African nations had stood up and said, no, I'm not going to assist you in any way in maltreating my people, kidnapping 16 million and shipping them across the ocean into America and let them sit there and you won't come and get them. Didn't send one damn vote in 460 years to get back their own people. And but that was a milder form, but they did participate, and they owe us too. So everybody on earth owes black folk. That's why you hear me always tell black folk, you are exceptional people. Don't let anybody pretend that they're equal to you. Yes, all blacks of African descent around the world have been misused and abused, but none of them have been misused and abused worse than black folk in America.
Troublesome, nigga. Troublesome 19 motherfucking 96. Let it be known, nigga. Boss of all bosses. Machiavelli.